Right, hi. Today's video is going to be me speaking about what it's like to be asexual at university or college if you're in the US. It's something I have, some experience on, and it's quite fresh in my mind because I'm in my second year at university right now. I went for a whole of my first year um, in halls. I presume people know what halls is. Basically, halls of residence, like where you go into a halls, funnily enough, which is like a block of flats, where it tends to be anyway, where you're going to be with a load of other freshers, in other words, first years at university, and yeah, so you're kind of like all in the same boat, and it's a way to get to know each other. So I was living there for the whole of my first year, and I was living with five other guys, and around me was a load of other girls, really. Yeah, my flat was the only flat of guys in my whole block. Um, yeah, they weren't mixed flat. It was literally uh, flat of flat of guys and then five flats of girls because you couldn't mix because these weren't en suites, so they had to do single sex flats. Unfortunately, well, not really unfortunately. It was fine. I enjoyed my first year more now, so kind of fortunately in a way. I really liked it. But anyway, people, I've seen some people say it's fine that you don't like sex. It's cool, but basically, it's a bit like not liking a hobby. Like people say that it's a bit like someone saying, like a guy saying that they don't like football, and I completely get where they're coming from. Like it's not a necessity to like sex. It's a major part in life because society makes it to be that way. And also if you want kids and stuff, it's like, yeah. But basically, I want to argue that it's a lot more, it's a lot different to that than just um, like a choice or a hobby. Basically, like sex isn't just like a hobby. It's like sort of say that using your example, for example, I lived in a flat with of six guys, and five of them, and then myself, and only two of us like football. So the rest of the people didn't like football, so the other four didn't like football. They obviously all had someone. There was other people that didn't like football. And if they went to another flat, there might be in another flat four guys that like football and two that don't, or there might even be five guys that like football and one that doesn't, and then they feel left out. But they will know that if they went to another flat, that there will be other people and other guys especially that don't like football. I personally love football, but that's not the point. Um, but yeah, there will always be people like you. In that, not everybody does like football. It's not. Quite a few people do, but it's not a universal thing that everybody loves. Sex, on the other hand, is kind of that way, in the sense that, in my flat, I was the funnily enough, the only person that didn't like sex. Other people would talk about sex. They would go out to nightclubs to pull girls. In other words, like try to bring a girl back to have sex with. And obviously, I'm not like that. I don't like sex, so why would I be? So I kind of felt left out then. And like when my flatmates went to clubs to do this, then I was just like, oh. And it's not like I could have gone to another flat and said, I feel a bit left out because all my flatmates, they want sex and I don't. Because I would have gone to that other flat and they'd be like, oh, well, you seem a bit weird because we all like sex too. Oh, go to another flat and they all like sex too, and they all like sex too. The whole freaking university likes freaking sex. So it's different because people who don't like football is they, in terms of guys, they may be slightly in the minority. I don't know. They might be in the majority, but even still, there's still a large percentage of people that don't like football. Whereas with being asexual and not liking sex, it's 1% of the population. So it's scary. But saying that, think about it. In this year, it was calculated that there's 7.4 billion people in the world. 7.4 billion people. Do you know what 1% of 7.4 billion is? It's 74 million, I believe. Yeah, 74 million people. So 74 million people are supposedly asexual. not so alone now, are you? 74 million people like us. Well, if you're asexual, that is 74 million, which is crazy, absolutely crazy. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. So yeah, it can make you feel really alone at university, and especially being students and stuff. And you know, quite a few events are like orientated around this idea of like pulling in clubs and stuff. And you know, we had a thing called a must, and this person called a must. It doesn't make much sense. Was a second year, but he would come round to pre-drink with us and make sure we're all social and having a good time. And he would, you know, he always goes, oh yeah, I'm gonna help you lads pool tonight, or I'm gonna, you know, help you do this, help you do that, and you can try and get with this girl. And it's like, no, no, thank you, no. Sure, I would love to, you know, go out with a girl or go out like on a date with them, but I don't want to pull them in a club. A club for me is, you know, no offense to those who do go clubbing. You know, I go clubbing a little bit, so it's all right. I'm not mocking you for it. But I refer to a club as a pool full of testosterone. The reason for that is it tends to be full of guys who are sort of just, yeah, going for it, as in, you know, trying to get laid, and that's it. They don't care what music's on. They don't care about the dancing. They don't care about anything, really. They don't really care about their mates that night. Their only aim is to try and get with a girl, or multiple girls, depending on what type of guy you are. So it's kind of, I kind of find it funny when I go out, because I kind of like, sadly, I know that's a lot on a lot of guys' mind, but I like to analyse it, and I like to like see what guys doing, and just, I find it funny sometimes, and I find it cool, kind of like checking out and what they mean, like how that guy's feeling and what that guy's trying to do, and it's pretty obvious, and you know what that girl's trying to say to that guy, and etc. I find it interesting, and that's kind of a sad reason to go to a club, but it's kind of one I kind of enjoy, and I find it funny, and you know, I like to, you know, I like music and stuff like that, and the music they play in clubs is my sort of thing, so that's the reason I like it. It can be too loud at times, I accept that, because you know my ears are often ringing a day after, but that's not the point. But basically a lot of it is orientated around sex, and when you see all these people and see all these guys wanting sex, it kind of makes you feel lonely. It really, really does. So yeah, that's what it's like to be asexual at uni. It's a lonely, lonely place. Even if you're filled with people around you, they're all wanting something else. And yeah, sure, we have similar interests to each other, but at the end of the day, you know, they've got that similar interest with everyone, pretty much everyone else in the world, and I'm just sat there like, yeah, I'm not part of this. So that's it for this video. Thank you. I don't know why I'm wearing this really smart thing, but hopefully it's alright for this video. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'm growing ever closer to 1,000 subscribers, and yeah, thank you so much for your support recently and your lovely comments, and I'll speak to you very soon.